Hi, my name is Jaden. I'm the small business owner of Nyxpoe Crochet here on this enchanted corner of the internet. Today, I'm sharing with you guys my small business goals for 2025, along with some new innovative techniques that I want to try out. I'm also going to be explaining or pointing out some lessons that I've learned along the way. I started January of 2023. Yeah, because 2024. No, it's 2025 right now. January of 2024. We are first going to start this video with an essential question. What is my business's purpose? Goal? Well, the answer is to inspire, to bring calm. The goal for my audience, you guys, is to inspire you guys to make projects solely from your psyche. And I feel like the best way is to not utilize social media or technology. The best way is to exclude that and draw inspiration from very, very simple things. I know that's such a cliche thing to say, like nature, but that is my goal. And that's why I'm popping out with more tutorials here and there. I'm trying to get out more tutorials because that's also a thing that you guys voted for when I did a poll on my community post. Now, I want to do this, and I also feel like the best way to do this is by showing transparency within my small business journey. And I also feel that people will get to know me better and learn from what I've been doing for the past year and so on. Another statement in relation to this is I feel like I need to inject or invoke more personality into my brand. I feel like my brand is lacking some personality and some story, and people don't feel the need or don't have a reason to buy my products just yet. So as of right now, attaching personality and a story to my brand is my number one goal. Transparency is my number two goal, and I feel like a good way to do that is simply to share your experiences or your story and connect them and tie them to your business. And you guys will see when spring plus summer comes along. Like the statement I said earlier, it might sound like common sense, like, oh, share experiences, tell a story, but it takes a lot of practice to really inject and tie it to your business. Because before, I feel like what I was doing, it was almost I was focused on how professional it would look, and I wasn't really focusing on like, oh, what is behind all this, what is the story behind all this? Like in the very beginning, I was really focused on looks, how professional it would look. It almost looked a little robotic, and it didn't look, I guess, human-like. I'm not sure. I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't have all the ingredients for my formula that equals prepared to launch a small business. I had a lot of things out of order, a lot of things I missed, but I'm going to explain that later. And so the next step is to really just push out tutorials and clothing pieces that I'm really passionate about. Like the Victorian bag that I did, the forest nymph inspired dress, those were like my most fun projects, and I enjoy doing that over 24-hour crochet challenges or whatever. So I plan to do more of those. I am obviously really passionate about self-expression through clothes, so I feel like doing a lot more tutorials, producing my patterns is the best thing to do. And in relation to that, I was thinking about doing maybe a Patreon. That's another goal on my list. I would like to do very in-depth tutorials on there. I would like to do patterns on there. I haven't really planned out exactly everything, but I know another thing is that I want to like ship out monthly products and stuff like that. Tying back to transparency, I like to watch other small business creators with the intention of gaining knowledge and learning from what they're doing. And sometimes creators are not transparent. Like a lot of the times I see small business creators, they're really only making videos about all the sales they have made, or they only post the highlights of their business, like, oh, all these sales, I made 100K, I made this, I made that. And like, I feel like that's not realistic, and that's not reality for a lot of small businesses, especially for people who want to start one. And I feel like that's not helpful. That's not a helpful lens to look through for people who are basically in the same field as you, for other small businesses like me who are watching other small business creators and they're trying to learn from them, but you're only seeing, you're only seeing like half of what it actually is like. And so that's when like your expectations of your small business become unrealistic, So that is why transparency is my number 2 goal. It really should be my number 1, but it's really up there on that list because it is really important. Again, when creators only post the highlights and the good side of a small business, it creates inauthenticity. And I feel like people are inspired when you start from the bottom with little to nothing and then you work your way up, and you're also helping others. You're sharing what you've learned, and you're not, I guess, basically gatekeeping, I guess that's the word that I'm looking for. And that is also why it is very important to tell your story and connect story to your brand. Another thing that I've thought about is that for me, I could be looking in the wrong areas, but I've always thought like, why not learn and gain knowledge from people who have the most successful small businesses? That's the best way to learn. And you can't learn if, you're watching a video with like rose-colored glasses or something. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. So that's why to you guys, I don't ever want, if any of you are small business creators, I don't want you guys to be like, oh, let me learn from her. But then like you're listening and you're like, you know what? Like her business is way more successful than mine. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like a lot of the times you just need to tweak a few things. You don't have to make such drastic changes. And again, this topic right here, I've touched on it in my video. I believe it's titled, watch this if you think you've failed your small business. It's something along the lines of that. This leads me to my next innovative strategy or goal, I guess, is to share a lesson at the beginning or very end of the video. It doesn't even have to be anything big. It can be something small as an experience that you've learned from, and I feel like that would help you guys out. That connects to transparency, that connects to authenticity, and I'm helping others out. When you say, oh, I've learned this, like you're telling your experiences, like that's how I have improved from hearing other people be like, oh, I've done this and it didn't work, so try this. I think that's a really good idea. Now for my more practical goals. I think we're on number 3. So number 3 is focusing on promoting outside of YouTube. I've really invested in YouTube, obviously, but my other platforms, I think they need a little bit more of that investment. Number 4, creating a Patreon. I said this earlier. I think 2025 is the year that I need to start distributing my patterns. I have recently, written my patterns down, tutorials, including those. I've been shipping monthly specialty items, like I said earlier. Now for number 5, refraining from perfectionism. That is really, really, really important. Especially if you don't have the finances to make your website or your products or whatever it is. If you don't have the resources to make them tip top perfect, that is perfectly fine. You're only going to stress yourself out if you try and make everything perfect, especially all in one time frame, like in a really short time frame. You're not giving yourself enough time to slowly build and upgrade and innovate. Me personally, I'm very harsh on myself when trying to achieve something really passionate about. That's obviously Nyxpoe. It has to be a very slow process. If it's not a slow process, it's just going to build stress. 5 goals. I feel like there was probably 6, but I believe that is 5. And now we're going on to lessons learned in this 1 year, which is a very short time frame, but I've learned a couple of things. So the top one is quality over quantity. I know for a fact every single content creator eventually learns this. In the very beginning, they push out as many videos as possible, but then the content is actually really boring, trash, audience clicks off and it goes to the next video. Obviously nobody wants that for their YouTube channel or really any other social media platform. So I did this in the beginning and I was like, I need to post weekly, but that's very unrealistic, especially for crochet knitting projects. Like, that's so unrealistic. Like, the best you can do is a video every other week, which is 2 videos a month, and that sounds like so small. But then again, you guys also have my shorts to watch. I'm in the process of upgrading those, really just upgrading the quality and being very detailed and specific in my budgeting. In the very beginning, I missed a lot of things that I should have included in my budget, especially promotion. I thought that just launching was going to be enough. I did not insert a bracket for promoting on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. I missed that completely. And so I was not catching onto an audience for until like 5 months in or 6 months in. You know, I was very broad with my budgeting, and so that led to some areas not getting more investment. I was investing very unproportionately, and it's also led to my product development being very messy process. I would very spontaneously create products, and then I wouldn't have any promotion lined up. So it was just very unorganized, and I will never be doing that again. Now, pretty much every product drop is very intentional, very organized. I use Microsoft Excel to track every single penny I have spent, even if it's just for a YouTube video. I'll also be forgetting to purchase certain supply items, and that is from not using like my reminders or my Google Calendar. I was also scrapping products. I've scrapped a lot, and I'm about to do a video on failed products, prototypes, projects, whatever, because I wasn't doing a lot of prototypes. A lot of times I was just making the product, hoping it would come out really perfect. But then I was like, you know what, this is very unorganized and it doesn't look how I want it to. So I'm gonna scrap it. I scrapped the entire half of my Valentine's Day collection. This very last one is to take my time with every little thing. Shorts, long-term content, prototypes, projects, products, website upgrading, whatever it is. Because I am a perfectionist and very passionate, I would rush things way too often. A couple months later, I would end up scrapping them. A lot of the times I was thinking, the faster, the more effective. That also ties in with quality over quantity. I think when you're researching how to start a small business, people do not tell you about the quality over quantity thing. And a lot of the times you start out going boom, 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 putting out this, putting out that, but you have to find a steady pace. In conclusion, I hope you enjoyed discovering my goals for 2025, and hopefully this was helpful for you or guided you if you were having trouble monitoring the process and the progression of your small business. Now, a tip from me or my experience is that I learn best when things are very detailed, easy to understand, and visually stimulating. So hopefully the audio or however I end up editing this video, hopefully this was helpful for you. And as always, thank you for watching. Hopefully this has also inspired you. I will have a second video. This will be a double upload again. I will be showing you guys all my failed projects and prototypes, and hopefully you can learn from that as well. Anyways, bye.